Good morning, everyone, and on behalf of all of us at the City of London, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to literally a very warm Net Zero Delivery Summit. And I think the heat today and some of the challenges on the trains have meant that we are a small but perfectly formed group. Can I say as well, I am dressed down today. I am not in my frills and cuffs. So any of you gentlemen in the room who are still in jackets and ties, you know, if you want to be a little more casual, if you can actually face that, Vincent, I'm looking at you. I know that's probably not you. Then do please feel free to make this a casual day at Mansion House. But thank you to all of those joining us here in person, and I suspect many more today online. Now in its 5th year, the Net Zero Delivery Summit is the City Corporation's flagship sustainable financial conference, and we are so delighted to hold it in London Climate Action Week once more. It is, of course, intentionally held at the midpoint between COPs, and the summit has been designed as an opportunity to take stock of progress. It's a chance to reconnect, to reflect, and most importantly, to look forward. I think all of us here are very well aware of the threat posed by climate change, a threat that we can't allow to be overshadowed by the political, economic, and geopolitical crises that are currently filling our global news cycle. If I can put my insurance hat on for a moment, global natural catastrophes have increased 5-fold over the past 50 years. The 2025 Californian wildfires are estimated to have cost insurers around $40 billion, among the largest insured losses on record for a wildfire event. So I think the business case for greater climate resilience and adaptation absolutely makes itself. Even if I say this, I want to be clear that today isn't about rehearsing the problem and reeling out scary stats. It's about coming together in a spirit of positivity to find actual solutions. The theme for COP31 is dialogue, consensus, and action, because the final of these is by far the most important. As I travel the world as Lady Mayor, I sense now amongst businesses and sustainability leaders of all stripes a real desire to move beyond this stop-start approach. Because as the saying goes, words may inspire, but only action creates change. As a representative for the City and UK's entire financial and professional services sector, I, of course, can think of no better place in which to find solutions than the square mile. The historic heart, yes, but one of the most forward-thinking and industrious capital cities in the world. A place where finance and innovation intersect, where businesses come together with science to create new remedies for modern problems. And private finance will be absolutely essential to meet the estimated 3.5 trillion of capital investment needed each year to build a net zero economy by 2050. The City Corporation's annual analysis of firms' progress on net zero found that despite a challenging geopolitical climate, businesses across the world continue to see the benefits of leaning into sustainable finance. If we focus on the 3 key dimensions, target setting, implementation, and finance, the analysis observes a 32% increase in the number of firms committed to or setting science-based targets, a 49% increase in firms reporting on climate risks and opportunities, and importantly, a significant growth in project-level financing for green and transition projects. So whilst today is about what we can do together, I'd be remiss if I didn't touch on the UK's strengths briefly in particular. When I travel, I often hear the same thing again and again. People want to know what's working, who's getting results consistently, who has a model that works and we can follow, who has the talent and expertise to execute at scale, where can I easily raise capital for clean energy projects? It won't surprise you to hear me say the answer to all those questions is unequivocally London. During my Melty, I've partnered with city trade associations and businesses, and we've launched the Team UK campaign. You may have seen the banners wrapped outside, because we need to make sure we amplify our confident, evidence-based narrative of London and the UK's enduring strengths as a global finance hub. The largest, most active capital market in Europe, the third biggest tech hub globally, and we do just as well in sustainable and green finance. In 2025, we were the largest market amongst global finance centres for project-level financing for clean and transition projects. We're the biggest in Europe for private investment in green tech, and we've topped the Global Green Finance Centre rankings for 8 consecutive editions. This, of course, is a story we need to shout about, and it's one the world needs to hear. And I hope that this summit will give an insight into what London has to offer. But of course, climate change doesn't do borders. Whilst we are uniquely positioned to support this journey, we must work collaboratively with others. So it's wonderful to see so many organisations here today who've travelled to London to learn from what's happening in the UK and to seek opportunities to collaborate. And we'll hear more inspiring examples of how the private sector can support ambitious outcomes for COP, with an agenda centering on a handful of key areas such as transition finance, carbon markets, and nature finance. So I'd like to finish by thanking our sponsors, Bloomberg and Bloomberg Philanthropies. I'd also like to thank all of today's speakers, moderators, and collaborators, the Government Office for Science, Conservation International, and C40 Cities. But most importantly, my thanks go to all of you who've made it here in 38 degrees heat, here in this room and online, for being part of this effort to not just identify the problem, but to find solutions. We have the vision for a cleaner, more sustainable future. Now we need action to make it a reality. So let's share, let's learn, and importantly, let's make things happen. Thank you, and now I'm delighted to introduce our next speaker, the CEO of Bloomberg NEF, Albert Chung. Thank you.